We're going to teach you how to really grasp the millennial advantage. We're going to teach you how to be what we call a giraffe. Have your head in the clouds and your feet on the ground. Between the three of us, we've built 3 companies. We've built a real estate distribution company, a real estate development company, distribution company, and a waste heat recovery company. On top of that, we're actually in the feasibility stage of wind farm development internationally in Costa Rica. Depending on the feasibility, it's about a $50 million to $100 million project. So why listen to us? Well, what better than listen to the millennials that are already doing it? Having your head in the clouds is great, but sometimes it can be negative. See, some of the positives with the millennial generation are that we're very driven, fast-paced, forward-thinking. But sometimes we can get ahead of ourselves. So we need to figure out how to stay grounded, keep our feet on the ground. I want everybody in the crowd to raise their hand as high as they can. Everybody, right? As high as you can. All right, perfect. Now raise it a little bit higher. What? Every one of you is able to raise it higher. Caution, you are entering your comfort zone. That's how we need to visualize ourselves, in our comfort zone. What if instead of visualizing our current, present comfort, we imagined our future comfort, and we were able to step into it? What if our future comfort was sitting on the beach sipping coladas with our family? What if it was perfect health and perfect, in love, retired with time freedom? What if we focused on that rather than our current present situation? This is where we are. That's your comfort zone. And that's where success starts. But what do we need to do? We need to develop ourselves first before we can be successful. My buddy called me 2 weeks ago. He's from Australia. He's an international exchange student. He called me and told me this really cool story. He was amazed. He was like, "Aaron, you got to get out to Australia." I said, "Why?" He said, "Dude, there's this tree out there. You got to get out here. If you climb this tree, I heard if you get to the very top, that's where you meet all your success and your dreams." I said, "Wow." He says, "You got to get out here." I said, "What would most millennials do? Most people in general, they would book the next flight out to Australia. The second that plane hits the ground, they'd be climbing the tree." But we need to develop ourselves like businesses before we can accomplish and be successful. We need to treat ourselves like businesses. Why do businesses become successful? They have tasks, schedules, calendars. They have technology to keep everyone together. We need to do that with ourselves before we can start climbing a tree. So what might we do? We might call up the last guy that successfully climbed this tree to see what in the world he did. Maybe there was special equipment he used, special shoes. Maybe he went to the gym for a year to build the strength to climb that tree. Maybe we have to be, do, have. We need to be the guy that got to the top. We need to do what he's done, and soon we'll have what he has to become successful. And that's when you become successful.
We have something that other generations didn't have in the past. Thank you. Technology. We can use technology to our advantage. It makes us more productive. It allows us to see things differently. You see, when you have technology, you can connect people. When you look at a work of art, people see a different image because they use a different lens, different perspective, different experiences. They take something different away. When people look at our schedule, this is just 1 week of how much we work. Some say, "I never want to do that. That's way too much work." To us, we love what we do. We love to go out and meet new people. We love to go and learn new things. We set ourselves up like a business. We use the power of applications. The power of applications is the power of the millennials because we can use these different software to really communicate between us, between our partners, between our clients. Technology doesn't give us everything. It doesn't give us wisdom, doesn't give us experience. We need mentors to give us that. This is a screenshot that I took when a professor tried to call me. And he said he was trying to give me a voice call, and he found my face on the screen. He was surprised. He couldn't believe that the phone FaceTimed. Didn't know what FaceTime was. It's hard for the older generation to really understand a new way of thinking, a new process, a new base. We were going down to Costa Rica. Within 1 week, we had an executive board meeting with one of the largest wind farms in all of Central America. And how did we get it? Through a molecular biologist who had a connection to the government of Costa Rica, who had a connection from there to the head of operations of a wind farm. And from there, we got another connection all the way to the executive board of one of the largest wind farms. Can you imagine that? We were sitting with them. Within 1 week, we were able to pull that connection. That power is extremely useful. Albert Einstein said, E equals mc squared. Well, I'm here to tell you something new. E equals mc squared. Except not energy, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is equal to more counterintuitive connections. Let's think about that for a second. Counterintuitive connections. People that are outliers, that are not exactly in the field that you're looking for. Exactly like that wind farm example. Who would have thought that a molecular biologist would have anything to do with the energy sector or in business?
So teams, they're everywhere. They're in startup ventures, big corporations, and even your family is a team. We see this word everywhere and anywhere. But I have some news for you today. We've all grown up hearing, there's no I in team, correct? You might have heard that there's no I in team. Well, I have some news for you. There is an I in team, and there it is. It's hidden. I bet you didn't know that. Now, what does that I stand for? What does it represent? It represents you. It represents your unique identity and the value of diversity that you bring to a team that makes it different than anybody else out there. So that's how important we see teams. And a lot of teams out there succumb to groupthink. They don't value perspectives. But what we do is we focus on the group brain. We each have our own intellectual capacities. We all can only learn so much. So what Aaron, Alex, and I do is focus on what we do best and let the other two go focus on something else. I'll give you an example of this. In opportunities, Alex will focus on the technology, Aaron will focus on the regulations and policies, and I'll go focus on the market analysis. This allows us to go out, capture the information we need, then come together and synergize and grow our group brain so our companies get better. Now, Alex mentioned we need to find a mentor because they bring the wisdom and experience we need. We call it mentors, advisors, but our favorite is we like to find our Mr. Miyagi. And that's our advice to you. You need to find your Mr. Miyagi. We found ours. He's one of our professors at UMass Lowell who teaches international finance and has years and years of business experience. Go find a mentor and choose him wisely. And we're starting to become business warriors. You can see here, this is an actual training session. So we've learned so many things from him, and one is to, in situations, take a step back. Look at the bigger picture, and don't be seduced by attractive situations. You need to see situations in business as they really are. He's taught us to look into the future in any project you do and find every possible situation that could happen and then build a backup plan so when something goes wrong and that has to happen, you're already prepared for it. The other thing he's taught us is to do everything from the feet up. You wouldn't wear a suit, sneakers, would you? So why aren't you promoting your entrepreneurship and your brand everywhere you go? You need to be in coffee shops, in your school, with your family, letting them know who you are and what your purpose is. It's going to help you not only now, but in the future for your network squared. Now, I just want to do a quick exercise with you guys, get you engaged a little bit. So I'm going to put a picture on the screen of a bunch of different cars, and I want you to count the red ones. All right, here we go. Look for red, look for red, look for red. Make sure you get all the red ones. All right, great. How many red cars were there? 6. Beautiful. Now, if I ask you, how many black cars were there? Well, that guy's a genius. But someone else said, you didn't ask. And that's exactly my point. Perception is reality. What we focus on becomes real. You were only looking at the red cars, so that's all you remember. And in business sometimes, we focus on one thing that we think is going to happen, when the reality of the business is all this other stuff going on. So my advice to everybody in young entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship in general is pull off the blinders and see what the situation in the business venture you're in is for real. So I just want to talk about the millennial disadvantage. You see this fella right here? As young entrepreneurs, this is who we think we are, right? Superheroes. But when we go to investor meetings and client meetings sometimes, this is what they see us as. Little baby on a laptop. And that's the real millennial disadvantage. Our clients and partners see us as young, inexperienced, and naive. And what we need to do as young entrepreneurs is be very cautious when we're dealing with other people and people with more experience than us. Everyone works with their self-interest in mind. As a young entrepreneur, it means we need to do more due diligence and work even harder than other entrepreneurs to cover all our bases. For example, with our real estate development company, when we bring on new contractors, we not only do check the 3 references we're supposed to and recommended to, we check 4, 5, and 6. Because a lot of the times, the 3 make the person look great. But sometimes the 6th one shows who that person really is and might bring them off the table. So after that, I have some really good news for you, okay? I know you're looking for some good news. All you entrepreneurs out there, you will fail and you will lose. But if you listen to some of the stuff we've said today and you learn from the situations you fail in, you will become better. So remember, keep your head in the clouds and your feet on the ground. Just be a giraffe and stand out from the crowd. Thank you very much.